Om. 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 गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनाभवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनं offering our collective love at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. On this auspicious Vamana Jayanti, or also celebrated as Onam, we will look at the next Ruk. We completed up to 9 Ruks last time, and we get into the 10th Ruk of the 10th Anuvakam in Sri Rudram. Please forgive me, I have no voice today. After 2 days of massive hectic satsangs. Okay, let's start the 10th Samhita Pata Sairama. Chandrasekhara.
ॐ मीढुष्टमशिवतमः शिवो नः सुमना भव परमे
Scale.
yeah, been under the weather now for the last few days.
Okay, ask somebody else to chant then. Okay, Sri Vidya, you can chant.
Amrikaji, I'll try without seeing.
Without seeing the book, okay. Okay, Shama, chant Shama. Her sound is not good. Medushtama Shivatama.
ॐ मेढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्यं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि
One more time, properly.
मेढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्यं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि
Bibhradagahi.
बिभ्रदागहि
Okay, one more time.
मेढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्यं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि
Parame Vriksha.
परमे वृक्ष
Parame is para or both. Anudattas. Meedhushtama Shivatama Shivona Sumana Bhava Parame Vruksha Ayudhan Nidhaya Krityam Vasana Achara Pinakambe Bhradagahi. Okay, you're ready for the Karma Patham? Shama.
Uncle. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because he's under weather today. I also don't have voice. Meedushtama Shivatama Meedhustameti Meedhuhu Tamam
Medhushtama Shivatama Medhushtame Medhuhu Tama Medhushtama Shivatama
You're good.
Medhushtame Medhuhu Tama
Sivatama Sivaha Sivatameti Siva Tama
Shivatama Shivaha Shivatameti Shiva Shivatameti Shiva Tama
Sivatameti Siva
Shivatameti Shiva Tama Shivatama Shivaha Shivatameti Shiva Tama
என்னட சிவா ஸ்வரிதம்
Shivatameti Shiva
you're
Tama
saying Shiva Shiva it is not like that Shiva Tameti Shiva
Shivatameti Shiva.
hey, what happened to you
Mm,
you lost touch with the swaras
Meti Shiva. One more time, please, Uncle.
Shiva Tameti Shiva Tama
Shivatameti Shiva. Tama
Shiva Shiva Swaritam Ra Swaritam
Shiva.
Shiva
Shivatameti Shiva. Tama
Shivo Naha Nasumana Aha
Shivonaha Nastumana Aha
you dropped that
Shivo
scale you dropped the scale
Mm,
Om Shivo Naha Nasumana Aha
Shivonaha Nastumana Aha
two times no
Shivonaha Nastumana Aha
Sumana Bhava Sumana Iti Mana Aha
Sumana Bhava Sumana iti sumana aha. Sumana bhava. Sumana iti sumana aha.
Bhaveti Bhava
Bhaveti bhava. Bhaveti bhava.
Parame Vriksho. Parame Vrikshona. What does it say there?
Vrikshe.
Parame Vrikshe. Parame Vrikshe.
Parame Vrikshe. Parame Vrikshe.
Vriksha Ayudham.
Vriksha Ayudham. Vriksha Ayudham.
Ayudhan Nidhaya.
Ayudhan Nidhaya. Ayudhan Nidhaya.
Nidhaya Kritim. Nidhayeti Nidhaya.
Nidha Nidhaya Krityam Nidhayeti Nidhaya Nidhaya Krityam sorry Nidhaya Krityam Nidhayeti Nidhaya
Krityam Vasanakha Vasana Am.
Krityam Vasanaha Vasana Krityam Vasanaha Vasana
Achara Charapinakam.
Achara Charapinakam Achara Charapinakam
Pinakam Bibhrat.
Pinakam Bibhrata Pinakam Bibhrata
Bibhrada Agahi Gahiti Gahi.
Bibhrada Agahi Gahiti Gahi Bibhrada Agahi Gahiti Gahi.
Now let's look at the words. Midhushtama, Shivatama, Sivaha, Naha, Sumana, Bhava, Parame, Vruksha, Ayudham, Nidhaya, Krutim, Vasana, Chara, Pinakam, Bibharat, Gahi. Got the words again? Midhushtama, Shivatama, Shivaha, Naha, Sumana, Bhava, Parame, Vriksha, Ayudham, Nidhaya, Krutim, Vasana, Achara, Pinakam, Bibharat, Gahi. Midhushtama, O supreme bestower of blessings, Midhushtama. And Shivatama, the supremely auspicious one. Bhava, Shivaha, Sumanaha, Naha. Bhava means be. Shivaha, be auspicious or be propitious, Sumanah, graceful towards us, Naha, Nidhaya Ayudham, Parame Vruksha, Achara, Bibhrat, Agahi, leaving Nidhaya or placing that weapon, the Ayudham, behind the top of that high tree, that tree which is at the highest level, Parame Vriksha, Achara Pinakam. Where is he putting the Pinakam? Nidhaya, Nidhaya Pinakam, Parame, Nidhaya Ayudham Pinakam, Parame Vriksha, then Achara Kritim Vasanaha, wearing your Kritim, tiger skin. Achara Pinakam Vibhradagehi. Placing that Pinakam, the bow. Oh no, actually, yes, placing it, Ayudham behind Parame Vriksha, descend and Bibhrat Agahi. Please come and give your darshan wearing that tiger skin, Kritim Vasanaha. So very simple mantra, so it appears. And the one who is showering the loving one, is always peaceful and ever positive. If he appears with his ayudhas in front of you, you will fear him. Therefore, when he is present without that ayudham and placing that ayudham in the higher self, and then the symbolism of wearing a tiger skin, by this tiger skin represents the one who is wearing that represents modesty, and God is so unassuming that he will appear before you. How does he appear before you? Like a Vamana, so unassuming. And today is Vamana Jayanti, no? Today is Vamana Jayanti. It's also celebrated as Onam. So when he appeared as a Vamana, he is so unassuming. He looked as if he is a short boy that is coming to ask to take a dhanam during the yajna that was being performed. And then when such God appears in such simple and unassuming form, you don't even care about him. But then there are these bogus gurus that adorn themselves with all these Rudrakshamalas and big, wearing all these, you see some of these fellows, laughing stocks, wearing kiritams, this and that, and my God, studded with gold, talking nonsense. You think they are great gurus. Appearance. But this appearance is Sumana Bhava, and it is Midhushtama, Shivatama, Midhushtama, Shivatama, Naha, Shivaha, Sumana, Bhava. parame vriksha ayudhan nidhaya krityam vasana achara pinakam bibradagahi. You look at the form of this Shiva, so unassuming, matted hair, doesn't even take care of the hair, wearing a tiger skin, vibhuti smeared all over the body, carrying this dhamarukam out of all the things. And that is the highest self. How it applies to us is that if God comes down, Swami himself said this, if I appeared before you with Shankam, Chakram and Nandaki, all those things, and then I appeared before you, you will put me in a museum. So he left all those things back there. He comes walking and walking, taking letters from you, talking to you, the walking God, the living God, the loving God, the laughing God, so unassuming, so simple, so beautiful. Nothing, the only gold on his is the two robe buttons. Other than that, he is not wearing any big Rudraksha and then carrying Trishulam and all of that stuff. And then, of course, Pinakam you have never seen. Huh? Who has had the darshan of Shiva carrying a Pinakam? So, that beautiful darshan makes you feel go more closer to God. And he is so approachable because he comes when your ego has gone. Your ego is there, he is gone. But for us, the biggest thing is our ego we cannot place somewhere else. Leave your ego on the top of a tree. Actually, the mantra is applying to us also. How do you live your life? My God, these things that you have as attachments, you accumulate all this nonsense. On the top of it, if somebody does not acknowledge you have those attachments or all those things that you have possessed, that's also unhappiness. So you have to call people, show how great you are, how much paraphernalia you have, how many cars you own, how many bedrooms you have, how much mortgage you pay. You stud yourself top to bottom and go parties with gold. Why all this? Because you want to show off. But that God, the Ishvara, the Parameshvara, who has the entire Aishwarya in his hand, he comes out walking without even wearing shoes or chappals. So that is the simplicity of, and this whole story of beautiful thought for the day by Bhagwan that is written on Prashanti Nilayam today about Bali Chakravarti. Uh, how it is the essence of that message I was reading this morning, the thought for the day today, SSSMC. You can what he's saying at the end of the thought, it says the ego has to sacrifice itself so that man's divine nature can manifest itself. And Swami is actually talking about Bali Chakravarti. Bali had understood the glory and majesty of God, and therefore he told his guru, the hand that grants boons to countless devotees, that hand is stretched to receive what I offer in answer to the Lord's desire. That hand has all the worlds in its grasp. And what does the Lord wish to get from me? He is asking only for that which He has given me. He has come to me in His form to ask from me all that I have because the same is what he has given me. Just read this thought for the day. Read this thought for the day and answer the question how big our egos are. Do any one of us think like what Bali Chakravarti Swami has written here? All what I have is what he has already given me. Bali had convinced himself that the Lord gives and the Lord takes, that he is but an instrument, and that his destiny is to merge in the Lord. So, on this festival day, when we celebrate his dedication and renunciation, we must strengthen our faith that God's will must prevail and is prevailing over all human effort. And we must realize that Tyaga, the sacrifice, is the highest sadhana. Be like Prahlada and Bali. Do not be Hiranyakashipus, for these are blinded by egoism. Pray to God. Let prayer be your breath. Do not conflict with God and be cursed. Take this as the message on this Onam day, Divine Discourse, September 1st, 1982. So, the essence of the message from the 10th Ruk of 10th Anuvakam is love comes to give and forgive. Ego exists to get and forget. Keep your ego on the top of some tree. Come down and be simple and humble. God is simple. Everything else is complex. God is simple. Everything else is complex. తలకాయ బాగా ఊపుతారు. వికిరిద విలోహిత నమః తే అస్తు భగవః యాః తే సహస్రం హేతయః అన్యం అస్మత్ ని వపంతు తాః. Yate, okay, Yate. Who wants to chant the next one? Nobody? Seriously? Nobody wants to chant the Samhita Pata for the next Ruk? Raise your hand if you want to
Yeah, I
chant.
can try, Anna. Can I try?
Okay. Yeah.
विकिरिदविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुं हेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निवपन्तु ताः.
Excellent. Excellent. Vikirida Vilohita Namaha Te Astu Namaha Te Astu. Namaha plus Te becomes Namaste. In the word Namaste, there are two words, Namaha and Te. Bhagavaha Yah Te Sahasram Hetayaha Anyam Asmat Nivapantu Tah. Asmanni Vapantu Tah. Vikirida. Vikirida. Vikirida actually means Kiri. Kiri means light rays. Vikirida. Vikirida. Da means the booner or the one who boons. Boons what? Vikiri. supreme enlightenment. Just like the rays of the sun are falling on you, unconditionally he boons. He doesn't see whether you are a rock, you are a demon, you are a human, you are an animal, you are a tribal, you are an insect, you are a snake, you are an elephant. He doesn't look at any of that stuff. Unconditionally, vikiri da. And that vikirida, vilohita, namaste astu, salutations, prostrations to you, bhagavaha, see vikirida bhagavaha, how those now, bhagavaha means the effulgent one. May your countless weapons, yahte sahasram hetayaha, let them destroy everything that is different from us. Abba. Very happy, no? I am white. Let everything that is non-white be destroyed. I am black. Everything that is non-black be destroyed. This is the stupidity of our thought. But actually, what does it mean? All your countless weapons, let them destroy anything that is different from us means what? Okay, let's contemplate on that after we learn the Kramapatham. Okay, Chandrasekhara, go. Vikirida vilohita vikirideti vikirida.
Oh, Om Vikirida Vilohita Vikirideti Kirida
Dayalada da.
Kirida. Sorry.
Hmm. Okay.
Om Om Vikirida Vilohita Vikirideti Kirida.
Vilohita namaha vilohite lohita.
Om Bilohita Namaha Bilohite Tibi Lohita Bilohita Namaha Bilohite Tibi Lohita.
Namaste te astu.
Om Namaste Te Astu. Namaste Te Astu.
Astu bhagavaha.
Om Astu Bhagavaha.
Astu bhagava. Astu bhagavaha.
Om Astu Bhagavaha.
Bhagava iti bhagavaha.
Om Bhagava iti Bhagavaha.
Vaha.
Vaha. Okay. Om Bhagava iti Bhagavaha.
Yaste te sahasram.
Om Yaste Te Sahasram. Yaste ते सहस्रम्
सहस्रगुं हेतयः
ॐ सहस्रगुं हेतयः ॐ सहस्रगुं हेतयः
हेतयोऽन्यम्
ॐ हेतयोऽन्यम् हेतयोऽन्यम्
ॐ अन्यमस्मत् अस्मन्नि
ॐ अन्यमस्मत् अस्मन्नि अन्यमस्मत् अस्मन्नि
निवपन्तु वपन्तु ताः
ॐ निवपन्तु वपन्तु ताः निवपन्तु वपन्तु ताः
ता इति ताः
ता इति ताः ता इति ताः
ॐ विकिरीदविलोहित विकिरीदेति विकिरीद विलोहित नभः विलोहितेति विलोहित नमस्ते ते अस्तु अस्तु भगवः भगव इति भगवः यास्ते ते सहस्रम् सहस्रगुं हेतयः हेतयोऽन्यम् अन्यमस्मत् अस्मन्नि निवपन्तु वपन्तु ताः ता इति ताः. So, what does it mean? Anything that is away, everything that is different from us, anything that is not love, anything that is not love, anything that separates us in love, anything that has already separated us, that should be destroyed. Hmm. What is it that separates? What is it that unites? And what is this separation resulting from? I'm not going to answer any of those questions. It's up to you all to figure it out. Uh, so this Bhagavaha, this supreme effulgence, that is the one we kirida. Kiri means I already mentioned. The kiri is the basis of what we call as kirana, kirana, kirida, and that Kyrie eleison in Latin, Kyrie eleison, referring to Jesus as Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. And what we are referring to here as Vilohita, Vilohita, without any blemishness, without any tinge of impurity, that is what is vilohita, namaha, that does not belong to the limited self. That is the actual meaning of also namaha. Namaha te, namaste, namaha. Namaha means that which doesn't belong to this individual self. Idan namama, you say every time you do offer a mantra in the homa, you say Idan namama, Adityatmaka Rudraya Idan namama, Ganapataye Idan, Ganapataye Idan namama. All this namama, namama becomes namaha. And therefore, what those countless rays of pure divine love, let that love destroy the darkness of separation that exists, and therefore we are now not separate from us. And this is what is called papa. Sin is not what we call as sin. Sin is at the gross level, uh, is what is called as gross level. Sin is different from the subtle most aspect of sin is separating yourself from everything else, and that is the fundamental sin. That's the topic of Sandhya Vandanam we have been going through. So, the inseparable love, and that love is actually Sahasrani, Sahasradha, Bahuvoh, Tava Hetayah, Tasam Ishanah Bhagavah Parachina Mukhakridhi. Now suddenly what this is, okay. Sahasrani Sahasradha Bahu. Who wants to chant without looking at the book?
Yeah, I can. Can I?
Nobody else? They're all happy, huh?
Yes, I
వాడెవడో
am.
చెప్ no, 1 second. Somebody else?
I can try, Shikaji.
Yeah, okay.
ॐ सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोत्सवहे वोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि.
Yes. Simple mantra. What it is meaning is Sahasrani Sahasradha Bahavaha Tava Hetayah Tasam Ishanaha Bhagavaha Parachina Mukha Kridhi. Okay, share the Kramapatham. Om Sahasrani Sahasradha
Om Sahasrani Sahasradha. Om Sahasrani Sahasradha.
Sahasradha Bahuvoh
Om Sahasradha Bahuvoh. Sahasradha Bahuvoh.
Sahasradheti Sahasradha
Om Sahasradheti Sahasradha. सहस्रधेति सहस्रधा
बाहुवोस्तव तव हेतयः
ॐ बाहुवोस्तव तव हेतयः बाहुवोस्तव तव हेतयः
हेतय इति हेतयः
हे ॐ हेतय इति हेतयः ॐ हेतय इति हेतयः
तासामीशानः ईशानो भगवः
ॐ तासामीशानः ईशानो भगवः
ईशानो भगवः
ॐ तासामीशानः ईशानो भगवः
भगवः पराचीना
ॐ भगवः पराचीना ॐ भगवः पराचीना
भगव इति भगवः
ॐ भगव इति भगवः ॐ भगव इति भगवः
पराचीना मुखा
ॐ पराचीनामुखा sorry ॐ पराचीनामुखा ॐ पराचीनामुखा
ॐ मुखाकृधिं कृधीति कृधिम्
ॐ मुखाकृधि कृधीति कृधि
कृधीति कृधिम्
ॐ मुखाकृधि कृधीति कृधि
ॐ my voice is ॐ सहस्राणि सहस्रधा सहस्रधा बाहुवोः सहस्रधेति सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव तव हेतयः हेतय इति हेतयः तासामीशानः ईशानो भगवः भगवः पराचीना भगव इति भगवः पराचीना मुखा मुखाकृधि कृधीति कृधि Om Sri Sai Ram. So that completes the 12 ruks in this Anuvakam, the 10th Anuvakam. The essence of the entire Anuvakam is all about love. Love, Bhagavan's quote, love as thought is truth. Love in action is dharma. Love in feeling is peace. Love in understanding is non-violence. Love is selflessness. Selfishness is lovelessness. Love gives and forgives. Selfishness gets and forgets. Satyasai Speaks, Volume 5. And this is what is the essence of expansion is my life. And this expansion is what is now placing the individual awareness, expanding it from the Vyashti, the individual, to Samashti, the collective, the Srishti, the creation, and into Parameshti, the one that is all pervading. So we have now concluded this Anuvakam that in a sense is talking about when we looked at the previous mantras. The first mantra is about the love as in expansion, the first ruk, drape andhasaspate daridra neelalohita, esham purushanam, esham pashunam, ma bher ma romo, esham kinchana mamatu. That is expansion. And then love as in healing. Yate Rudra Shiva Tanu Shiva Vishwaha Bheshaji, the medicament that heals. Then the love as in sacrifice, the love as in action, the love in understanding, the love in feeling, which comes to your being. Our existence is never in sacrifice because we don't even understand the fundamental word sacrifice, tyaga. What is tyaga? What is sacrifice? That is the essence of today's message is Bali Chakravarti's sacrifice. To the point that his own guru is telling him, don't do this dhanam, don't do this charity. My God, the guy who came is Vishnu. He's cheater. He's going to cheat you. Don't give this dhanam. He said, hey, come on, man. The guy who comes is Mahavishnu, putting his hand below, my hand is above. Sorry, I don't want to listen to you. And this guru goes and obstructs the kamandalam to do the dhanam. He took a darbha and poked the guru. Since then, he has only one eye. Shukracharya. So, in a discourse, Swami says very beautifully, when it comes to sacrifice, don't listen to anybody. The moment you go and you want to give and you ask somebody, they will put all kinds of paralysis analysis in your head and you will stop giving. Giving is grace, taking is disgrace. And this giving only comes because of love. And therefore, and to the point that this love, as in sacrifice, expands and expands. And this is the core teaching of na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagenaike amrutatvamanashuhu. It is not through your actions, it's not through your progeny, It's not through na karmana na praja. It's not through your wealth, na dhanena. It is only by sacrifice you will become immortal. What does it become? You become immortal. That means you will be in the body forever. No, that's not what immortality is. If I ask any one of you, what is your father's name, you will tell. If I ask you, what is your grandfather's name, you will tell. If I ask you, great grandfather's name, great grandfather's name. Maybe some people may have done this family charts and they may remember. I ask great great grandfather's name, great 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 grandfather's name. Huh? Do you have any clue who that is? Who existed as your great 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 grandfather? Because their existence is not existence. They only left this whole thing behind and they left their bodies. You take a name of a Vivekananda, a Shankaracharya, a Gandhi, all these people. Why do you remember them? Why does history remember them? History doesn't even remember the greatest of the kings that ruled this earth. History remembers those that are selfless. Selflessness. And that sacrifice in selflessness makes you immortal because a Vivekananda is still living in the minds of the people. Shankaracharya is still living in the minds of the people. Shankaracharya is living in the hearts of everyone who follows Sanatana Dharma. Immortal because of the Tyaga. Tyagena eke amrutatvamanashuhu. It is only by sacrifice thou shalt become immortal. And now that love, which is the sacrifice, that now comes forth in action. It is not still. This love that is so abundant, that is infinite, its nature is to be in action, and its nature to be understanding. Its nature, love is not an emotion. Love is non-emotional. We have confused ourselves with this word love and abused it, telling everything and everybody, I love you, I love you. What is this love? You have no idea. But that love is not simply an emotion. That love is also very tough. True love eliminates, destroys everything that separates you from that oneness. And that which separates us from everything is three-letter word, ego. Three-letter word. And when that has happened, no matter what kind of an incredible king you are, the unassuming God will come. Whether you give it or not, he will take it. You're all thinking, I will accumulate all this. Huh? Accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. Never a sense of giving. अरे क्या करेगा यार? क्या करेगा? What do you do with all that stuff? And therefore, there is a beautiful poem in Telugu. చీమలు పెట్టిన పుట్టలు పాములకిరవైన ఎట్లు పామరుడు తగన్ హేమంబు కూడబెట్టిన భూమీషుల పాలు చేరగదరా సుమతి. Sumati means oh good minded one. Have you ever noticed these ants that have built this beautiful Ant hills they built. Ants build ant hills. And this ant hill, the ant's lifespan is very short. When all these ants disappear, who will come and sit in the ant hill? Cobra. So all that you accumulate will be going to the governments in California for sure. So this accumulation piece, that is what separates you. And that accumulation comes because of this ego. And then once that is destroyed, as we just studied in the three last anuvakas, the three last rooks, you're asking Anyamasman Nivapantuta, destroy everything that separates us from the Supreme Self. And then who will you become? Sahasrani, Sahasradha, Bahavaha, Hetayaha, Tasam, Ishanaha, Bhagavaha, Parachina Mukhakridhi. That is the essence of this. Then you become the master of the universe. And this mastery is holding all these weapons, Sahasra Hetayaha, in these hands. And I described this during Devi Mahatmyam. What all these weapons that mother carries, and 18 of them, Ashtadasha Bhuji, Akshasrak Parashum Gadeshu Kulisham Padman Dhanush Kundikam Dandam Shakti Masincha Charma Jalajam Ghantam Sura Bhajanam Shulam Pasha Sudarsyanecha Dadhatim Hastaif Pravala Prabham Seve Sairibha Mardinim Iha Mahalakshmim Sarojasthitam. Then you will manifest your Vishwarupa. And in this Vishwarupa, the universality, the universal cosmic being, the Virat Purusha, and you will, when I say you will, every one of us will experience that the moment everything that truly doesn't belong to us is destroyed, and we will expand into this Virat Swarupa. May all the beings in all the worlds have happiness and peace. Jai Sai Ram. Okay, what's the time? Are there any questions? 3 o'clock. Just a couple of questions. 8 o'clock. Canada time? It's 8 o'clock. Okay, yes, let's start. I was confused because it's 5 o'clock here. Okay. No question. Everything clear, huh? Crystal clear.
Madam Shekharji, I have a question
Yes,
about ego and giving and forgiving. So, when someone does something wrong or unfair according to our judgment, where do we recognize that it is our ego which is acting as a filter in judging the other person, and where do we say we have to give and forgive? What criteria would we use to do that and say, okay, this person has genuinely made a mistake, it's because of their own karma baggage or filters that they are misbehaving? Or do we say, oh, it's their ego, so I don't want to encourage it and I want to, not forgive or give in to their behavior? How does one recognize that?
Yeah, very beautiful question. When we understand this word, forgive, forgive, what does that actually mean? The colloquial common understanding of that word is actually misplaced, like many of the words we don't even understand, because we have lost the context of what those words actually meant. When we say forgive, what we usually understand is somebody made a mistake, therefore I'm going to tolerate it and I'm going to let it go. Therefore, you are forgiving somebody else. That in itself is a big trap. The word forgiveness is much more deeper, and Buddha has actually done an incredible job of highlighting what that forgiveness is. Listen to some of these people like Desmond Tutu and Dalai Lama and those that have been trained in this Tibetan and Zen Buddhism, the very deep context. Can you imagine Dalai Lama's life of how he has escaped and the atrocities that are still happening to the Buddhist monks in Tibet by the Chinese and how they have occupied and completely destroyed the local fabric? We are talking about individual hurt. We are talking about massive uh, racial cleansing, what the Hitler did, and what all this has happened in the world history. How do you come to grips with forgiveness in that large scale? You should listen to Dalai Lama what forgiveness is. What he simply said is, when I carry that, I become more separated in my oneness. Therefore, forgiveness is not to excuse others. Forgiveness is to actually erase any image that is associated with my grudge and judgment, even to those that harm me. This is now. So, what does it mean, sir? If somebody is abusing me physically, I have to bear it. What do you mean by that? No, 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 that's not what is meant by that. This forgiveness is a beautiful spiritual endeavor, so to say. And for this, I will point to a parable by Bhagwan Ramakrishna. And some of these parables, as a young mind, this mind was exposed to them. So when to understand these parables will come very handy. Some children were playing around an ant hill in which a cobra is there. Now ant hill and cobra come back into the story. And when they were playing, then this they were playing with stones and all of that stuff, and the stones fell, and this cobra came out, and it was very angry and has bitten one of the children. And then there was a sadhu that was going by, and he looked at it and immediately rushes to the boy, saves the life of the boy, and then the he tells the cobra, how foolish you are that you have hurt this boy. And they did not do it knowingly. They were playing and the stones fell on your ant hill. So behave from now on, he tells the cobra. A few years pass by, and then when the sadhu is going by the same place, he notices something very interesting. The boys were taking the cobra by its tail and then swirling it in the air and throwing it and playing with the cobra. And now the cobra went to the sadhu and said, look what you have done to my life. I am now taken for granted, and these boys are playing with me as if I am a rubber snake. And then the sadhu said, look, cobra, I asked you not to hurt, but I never told you not to hiss. That is the story of forgiveness. Fundamentally, you have to differentiate. Why do you get hurt? And what is it that you have to forgive? I will honestly tell you, very simple. Your mental hurt is all your ego. and the image you have about yourself. You are a big scientist. Somebody makes fun of you. Your scientist image is hurt. Uh, and if you're a big musician, somebody said, "Hey, you missed the talam." Your musician ego is hurt. So your image is created by how you perceive of yourself, and in the context of that, what gets hurt is the image. Supposing you don't have an image, why would you get hurt? I'm not talking physically, I'm talking mentally. Why would you get hurt? What's the reason why you get hurt? Just this is very beautiful. I mean, you have to really, everybody has to analyze about that. If you are getting physically hurt, you have to protect yourself. That is the story of the snake. If you are physically getting hurt by someone, you protect yourself. But mentally, you can only hurt by yourself. And the moment you get hurt mentally, you have to clear the image. And when you wipe off that image, you forgive yourself. You forgive your image. You have given up your image. And when you give up your image, I walk into the place, somebody did not do namaskaram, somebody did not do garland because I am such a great person, and how come they ignored me? Then what is getting hurt? Your image. I am not separate from them. It's okay if they did not honor me, etc. Or they made mistakes. And if there are genuinely mistakes that is really hurting them physically, mentally, financially, whatever, if they truly have the awareness that you can have that heart to heart connection with them, help them. Help ever, hurt never. That is the long answer to your very short question. Okay. Is that okay, Ma? You have a follow up? You have a follow up?
I do actually.
Ah, I thought so, yeah.
um, so there are some very clear big picture scenarios where the behavior can be excused, but then there are scenarios where it seems like it's impacting a community, or if it's impacting the principles or values, right? There, how does our ego come into place, right?
Hmm.
It's also an is that an ego, or are we protecting a value or a principle of ours or community? If someone talks, I don't want to go into examples, but I think what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say is it's kind of connected. The ego somewhere creeps in and kind of blurs the vision of being giving and forgiving at all times. So that
yeah, yeah. So take a character like Hitler. Can anyone ever forgive Hitler? Yeah, that's a beautiful example. And that question was asked of Swami. Swami's answer was very interesting. What I read in, I think it's just John Hislop's book or some other place where he said, yes, it is true that it was atrocious, but he played his character very well. What does that mean? Like it's like saying Swami is saying, Krishna is saying, hey Duryodhana, you did your part very well, da. Now let me kill you. Huh? You played your part very. What will happen is this, that when such accumulates, and you have to ask your question, what is it in your capacity and in your um, ability to actually influence that and change it? And sometimes what happens is it is not individual's capacity, that actually will do anything about it. As an individual, you will not be able to do anything about it because you don't have that capacity to take that massive negativity that is happening. This is the story of Devi Mahatmyam. This is the Devi Mahatmyam. Then what you do? You actually bring the light within you, and that light within you unites with another light, and another light, and another light, and becomes the shape of this incredible Devi, whose job is then to destroy that and eliminate it and eradicate it. Yeah, story clear? So, ask the question. Yes, it is happening. Now, it's beautiful. I was facing some of this negativity in my own personal life, and Swami one time told me, don't try to fight it by yourself. You are not capable of doing it. Then what should I do? He said, do this exercise. When you are dealing with a person that is so atrocious and doing such negativity, sit down and do 108 Gayatri Mantra, light coming out of you and filling that person tip to toe with that light. Tip to toe. Yeah, so Swami, what are you saying? I should pray for this person that is so terrible and hurting everybody? Should I pray for that person? Yes. He said, yes, pray. You have the mental power of the prayer that will actually heal this person's negativity. So sit down and do 108 Gayatri, and completely the light of Gayatri should fill that person tip to toe. See what happens. Yeah, do this exercise. It works.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Thank you.
And this is not, then I did that, it happened. And then I was like wondering, is this just my imagination, or what happened to that guy, or whatever that situation? How did that suddenly change? What happened? And then, lo and behold, a week later, I was in the satsang of Phyllis Crystal, a divine soul in Bhagwan's mission. And she was talking about a flight being hijacked. And she was on that flight, and they didn't know what to do. Suddenly, she remembered that Swami asked her to chant Gayatri and fill those people with the light. So she was sitting in the flight and sending light. Half an hour later, they dropped the guns and they were saved in the hijack. And the flight was taken to some place in Pakistan or whatever. Then I saw that and said, oh my God, this is the power of the Gayatri Mantra, which is the next session, the Sandhya Vandanam class. Uh, and that is the power of the Gayatri Mantra. My God, that even Paramacharya, uh, recently only I was reading about Paramacharya. One person went to this. My wife is having lot of sickness and problems. Swami gives some prasadam, something. He said, do you do Anushtanam every day? Do you do Gayatri Japam every day? And then he said, yes. After you do the Gayatri, give the water to her. That is Tirtham. And we are all thinking these are stories. Our faith in all of this have dropped so much that we think our prayer cannot heal ourselves. And our prayer, if it heals you, and the same prayer will heal somebody also. And that healing is not necessarily associated with physical sickness. The sick people only will resort to do bad things. If they're normal people, they won't do bad things. So pray for to those people. They're sick people. Pray to them. Pray to God for them, and they will be transformed. Jai Sai Ram. Okay, Yadakshara Pada Brashtama Chandrasekhara.
ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत्